Welcome to Howard Brown Online Barber College. Make sure that you have your notepad and pen because we are about to begin. Today, we will be doing the review questions for the teaching plan and learning environment. So let's begin. The 21st century educator is better known as an facilitator, educational consultant, teacher, or instructor. If you chose A, facilitator, you are correct. To better facilitate learning, the master educator will use substandard equipment, gather materials as needed, identify the materials and equipment necessary for class, list necessary and unnecessary items. If you chose C, identify the materials and equipment necessary for class, you are correct. Learning can be made easier if the classroom environment is it filled with aromatherapy, filled with an abundance of posters, organized and welcoming, both A and B. If you chose C, organized and welcoming, you are correct. The more time the educator spends in preparation, the more time the student has in is it having services done, active learning, downtime, looking in trade journals. If you chose B, active learning, you are correct. An educator who has taken the time to organize and prepare the lesson will, is it, develop handouts in a professional manner, review course material to refresh knowledge, organize needed materials, supplies, and educational aids, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. A data organization system ensures that, is it, information will be available to you when needed. No one will find your materials. You have only electronic files. You have only hard copy paper documents. If you chose A, information will be available to you when needed, you are correct. Students who feel that you have taken a personal interest in their success will, is it, be absent, enjoy the educational experience, feel favoritism, study less. If you chose B, enjoy the educational experience, you are correct. Confidentiality is a growing concern in our country. Which of the following protects privacy rights? Is it Family Educational Rights and Parenting Act, Familial Endowment Rights and Privacy Agency, Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act? If you chose D, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, you are correct. School records should include a student's, is it, learning objectives, attendance, attitudes, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. A disorganized, cluttered, and poorly arranged classroom will cause, is it, a negative impact on learning, stimulation and positive learning, positive reinforcement, higher order thinking? If you chose a negative impact on learning, you are correct. Being able to put what you have learned into practical use, which is important to the goal oriented adult learner, is called imperative, reverent, relevance, immediate. If you chose relevance, you are correct. Though adult learners may have established negative opinions about what is being taught, they are to is it quietly follow the course of study, be actively involved in the learning process, do as they wish, be told their opinion doesn't matter. If you chose be actively involved in the learning process, you are correct. Master educators will keep lectures short, giving only essential information because adult learners is it sit passively, can use imagery, need involvement, learn through video only. If you chose need involvement, you are correct. When you are creating a learning environment that facilitates various age groups working together, you are is it giving a clinical experience, preparing a better workforce, practicing customer service, practicing state board skills? If you chose B, preparing a better workforce, you are correct. Research tells us that there are differences between male and female students' participation in classroom discussion. Which of the following statements is true according to this research? Is it female students tend to keep speaking until they have no more to add to the conversation? Males have fewer words to say, but say them louder. Males tend to keep speaking when interrupted until their point is adequately made. Females are more demure in their speech. If you chose males tend to keep speaking when interrupted until their point is adequately made, you are correct. Identity with or membership in a particular racial, national, or cultural group, and observance of that group's customs, beliefs, and language is called nationalism, ethnicity, socialism, none of the above. If you chose B, ethnicity, you are correct. To better acquaint yourself with your students' interests, past experiences, and attitudes, and you get them involved in the learning process, you should invite them to your office for interviews. Talk to them individually while others wait. Have them write a personal profile, both A and B. If you chose C, have them write a personal profile, you are correct. The master educator will arrange the motivational classroom to allow for is it more than one activity to occur, accessible materials and supplies, a clear view of all learners at all times, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. Color in an educational facility has an impact on the learner. For example, the color green gives us a sense of security, serenity, creativity, both A and C. If you chose D, both A and C, you are correct. Bulletin boards have many useful purposes, such as being a mailbox for students, enhancing student motivation, posting assignments and procedures, both B and C. If you chose D, both B and C, You are correct. Cultural differences may prove a challenge in the classroom. To avoid disparity, the master educator will honor ethnic differences, recognize cultural perspectives, stereotype students of different backgrounds, both A and B. If you chose D, both A and B, you are correct. Being familiar with the controls of the classroom's heating system, lighting, audiovisual equipment, and other equipment necessary for the smooth delivery of the lesson objectives is related to: is it the motivation technique, classroom maintenance, the physical environment, environmental protection? If you chose C, the physical environment, you are correct. A seating arrangement suited for small classes and informal discussions that allows the facilitator to be seated, providing excellent use of eye contact, is the semicircle arrangement, theater style arrangement, classroom style arrangement, boardroom style arrangement. If you chose A, semicircle arrangement, you are correct. The room arrangement that is conducive to lecture, demonstration, discussions, video projection, and group projects, and also provides for a high degree of eye contact between the learners, is the amphitheater arrangement style, half round or crescent style, circle arrangement style, U shaped arrangement style. If you chose B, half round or crescent style, you are correct. Students with documented disabilities are entitled to special accommodations under the Accommodations for Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, Diverse Learners of America Act of 1990, Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, Americans for Diversity Act of 1990. If you chose C, Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, you are correct. The main federal agency charged with the enforcement of safety and health regulation is the Organization for Safety Administration, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, Oversight Committee for Safety and Health Agency, Occupational Health and Welfare Agency. If you chose B, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, you are correct. The school's hours of operation required supervision, lab operations, rules for food and beverage consumption, checkout procedures, and supplies replacement information can be found in the school's policies and procedures, flyers, business cards, entrance door. If you chose A, policies and procedures, you are correct. In choosing a textbook, you must consider whether it meets the objectives of the course, it is too fundamental or too comprehensive, the reading level is appropriate, all of the above. If you chose D, all of the above, you are correct. When selecting textbooks, consideration should be made as to timeliness, weight, author credibility, both A and C. If you chose D, both A and C, you are correct. Two of the many responsibilities of a master educator are reporting to state agencies and record keeping for the institution. In order to be effective in these responsibilities, the educator must be serious, confident, thoughtful, accurate, and current. If you chose D, accurate and current, you are correct. Attendance records must be accurately recorded for licensure and financial disbursement by which of the following agencies? Is it State Board of Cosmetology, U.S. Department of Education, U.S. Financial Aid Department, Association of Beauty Schools? If you chose B, U.S. Department of Education, you are correct. One of the best ways to prevent student withdrawal from the program is providing frequent downtime, having a sound orientation program, giving students time for services, having frequent guests. If you chose B, having a sound orientation program, you are correct. Knowing who makes up the population of your class, their economic situations, and characteristics is called demographics, ethnicity, cultural, humanity. If you chose A, demographics, you are correct. The use of color has been reported to have different effects on the brain. Blue has been identified as the color of, is it art, cuisine, academics, music? If you chose C, academics, you are correct. Data conveyed in natural colors are retained by the brain at a much higher rate than those conveyed in fluorescent colors, pastel colors, black and white, primary colors. If you chose C, black and white, you are correct. This concludes this review. For more classes, make sure you visit our website at howardbrownonline.com. Remember that barbering starts in the book. We'll see you next time.